Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we're going to be playing some Fi. Fi's pretty much what I've settled into for ProQuest season. I've changed my list a little bit since the last time I played some games. Not a ton, just a couple of cards here and there. I feel like the metagame has probably moved away from has moved away from Warmonger's Diplomacy just a little bit. I just think that's the natural state of the metagame, personally. So we're going to be playing that Fi list. It's probably what I'm going to play during ProQuest season. At this point, I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, nothing feels great to me. Fi is probably my number one choice, all things considered. So we're just gonna be testing what's more than likely gonna be my list. Might make a couple changes as we get closer to ProQuest season, though. It's hard to tell. Hey, what's going on, Ben? So, looking at the list that we have here, all of our stuff is laid out exactly the same. I still like Arcane Lantern over the second Kadachi, personally. Keep up the grind, brother. Yo, Guard, what's up, man? I appreciate you stopping by, dude. And I cut Warmonger's Diplomacy and added Stab Wound into the deck. Gives us an extra attack that has some potential to have upside. Oh, excuse me. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. So going second, or no, we're going first. So let's see here. I think we want Sink Belows in this matchup. I think Sink Belows are just a little too good. And then maybe I just want to play my 60 with Sinks. Let's try it like that and see how it pans out for us. I think Mask of Momentum is definitely the play in this matchup, so honestly, I'm pretty interested in just passing here. I guess we could go Kadachi and just see how they block. I don't know. Might be better just to pass here, though. It's hard to say. Viva la Resistance. You tossed the Resistance leader into a giant fan. He was a traitor and a scoundrel. He was trying to stop you from pushing other people into a giant fan. Dude, I love that. Oh my god, I love Llamas with Hats, dude. Llamas with Hats is so great. They give us breaking skills. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. I'll Arsenal the Snatch. And then, I mean, this hand's looking pretty good. This is a pretty solid hand. Let's see, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chain links here. So, I mean, I guess let's just take 5 here. This is a pretty solid hand that puts Mask on the stack twice, potentially a third time, depending on how they block and where they block. So also, this hand's 1, 2, 5, 9, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is a 19-point hand with 2 to 3 potential mass triggers and a on-hit effective snatch. So, I mean, I won't lie. I hate to give my opponent just the 0 for 4 that says on hit draw a card, but I think we're going to here. I'm honestly debating if it's right to give a mask here. So yeah, it's crazy, but let's give a mask here. Let's just try and race and see what happens. them being able to go second just gives them so much advantage over us. Like, there's just so much value that they get from their turn. If this Snatch was like an Artivore, our hand would be absolutely insane. I mean, the Snatch is pretty good. Like, it's a 0 for 4, but the Artivore just, like, makes all of our cards breakpoint cards, like, helps push Mask in such an effective way. Cross Trap. So I decided to use Cross Trap just to throw 4 points at me. Like, this is only 4 points. This represents nothing else. I mean, I guess they use Cross Trap to push through 9 points basically for free, which is actually a pretty good rate. So let's go Brand. We'll start with Brand with Cinderclaw here. Yo, Kyle, what's up, dude? Really wish we had like a combat trick here to like make our opponent's hand a little bit awkward. So this is Draconic. Okay. So considering they blocked here, that means that we're going to get to push Mask 2 more times, which is really sweet. So let's go ahead and use Kodachi here. Show me your pants? Dude, what is your obsession with my pants? You're crazy. Oh Lord, he's back on Fi. Let's go. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play Fi for ProQuest season. So I figured I should spend tonight and probably Thursday playing Fi. Try to get back into the rhythm of playing Fi. Let's send 4 here, and this is a breakpoint card, so they're forced to give us 2 cards here or give us Mask. I mean, I guess they could have like a Sink Below. Oh, see, that's so good. There's so much value in that. We'll come in with a Phoenix Flame. This is so good. Hashtag show me the pants before Carly can put them on you. Okay, fine. Fine. You ready? Like, already. We're already doing this tonight. It's the same pants I wore last night. You happy? I'm wearing my same pajama pants I was wearing yesterday because they're very comfortable. You boob. Their hand must be pretty good. So let's swing the Snatch here and see what we get. You got some PQs coming up this weekend? Yes, actually. I'm going to North Carolina. I'm going about 4 hours away Saturday. And then I'm staying with the Woodshed. He's my cousin. I'm staying with him on Saturday night. And then I'm going to wake up and go to another ProQuest in North Carolina. I'm going to go to a different ProQuest in North Carolina on Sunday. So yeah, I'm playing 2 this weekend. Ew, wash your pants. I'm kidding, you Muppet. You're a Muppet. Oh, man. Well, this hand's interesting. This hand's, like, not really that... I mean, I guess it could be good. Depends on what we need to block with. Business up top, cozy lumberjack down bottom. Dude, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely saying that from now on. I think we're just blocking 5 here. I think we're just blocking 5 and trying to get as much value out of our hand as we can here. Well, Ancestral Empowerment really sucks for us. To Victory Point? Yeah, Victory Point's on Sunday, I think. Yeah, CC Victory Point on Sunday. Yeah, I bought a ticket to that one. Yeah, I'll be there on Sunday. Are you playing there this weekend, Drew? Man, I could play this defensively, but that really doesn't feel like the play here. What time are you expecting to be at our place on Saturday? So I'm not sure yet. I'm staying about like the shop that I'm playing at's about 2 hours. About 2 hours from you guys, Kyle. So I'll be there 2 hours after I'm done playing. Now I could draft and go O2 and then, you know, I could be out of there by, you know, like 3 o'clock, and I could be at your all's place by 5. I don't know. But if I am, I mean, like if I get done that early, like, dude, I'll find something to do. But if I do well, then I won't be. Man, this sucks. This really sucks. It's like completely swings all tempo in their favor. I have to give them 2 cards right here. Or I have to give them both, like, I have to give them, they can draw 2 cards here, or I can give them 2 cards and an equipment. Oh my god, this is terrible. Alright, Talishar, get it together. Don't know what's going on. I'll see you Sunday then? Okay, cool, man. That sounds good. I will be there on Sunday. I think considering my opponent's still at 16, it's correct to block with Shuko here instead of Mask. LMAO, just let us know whenever so we know. We're both off, so no biggie. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I will, yeah, I mean, I plan on shooting you a text either way. And if you guys weren't going to be there, then, you know, you guys weren't going to be there kind of thing. So, is my opponent just, man. Vi has, or like, this deck has so many more combo pieces now that, like, it's just, like, it's so, like, they only have to find one piece to really have all their combo pieces now, which is, like, super tough to, like, compete against because we've played 2 turns and I'm down 6 points. Like, and they still have breaking scales, which is super obnoxious. We also haven't seen a single sink below, which is, like, not where we want to be. I think I'm just supposed to throw Kodachi here for 1. Put 5 at my local armory and use an Emberblade style deck. Some of the guys are saying I should pivot to Kodachi. I don't know when to ask. E-Strike or Art of War. Any recommendations? Whew. I'm going to be honest, man. That's a tough call. Like, if you don't own, like, Mask and Momentum is, like, a big piece when you're playing Kodachis because, like, you get to abuse that so much more. It's also, like, E-Strike's a really good card because it pairs well with, like, Phoenix Flame and Flame Call Awakening. And I honestly, dude, like, Art of War is just, like, a staple of the deck. I know that, like, people put these, like, you know, budget Fi builds together and things like that. So, like, if you're missing a lot of the staples like that, you know, I would suggest probably look at, like, a budget build that somebody has put together. Because, I mean, people put together some pretty cool budget decks. So, I mean, you could definitely look into one of those and see if you can find a list that you like. But I mean, if you're going to play Fi, like, if at some point you're able to, I would say that buying Art of Wars is, like, definitely a step in the right direction. Art of War is just, it's so good and so powerful in this deck. Like, and I wanted to keep my hand. I wanted to play Art of War off of 3 cards in an arsenal, but my opponent had the Ancestral Empowerment. Like, I think Art of War is, like, such a big swing in all the matchups, honestly. I personally sideboard Emberblade just because I have a Cold Full version. I mean, Emberblade's really good. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the Emberblade deck. Like, I just like to make that clear. The Emberblade deck is very good. It's just not... God, I have to go to 2 here. Like, the Emberblade deck is great. Like, it's a good deck. Like, an Emberblade is a weapon that I played in 5 for a long time. I just don't think, like, that it's... I don't know. I just personally feel like Kodachis are better right now. from a personal point of view. Fair enough. Still pretty new to the game, so I am missing those staple cards. Thanks for the insight. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm happy to help. Welcome to Flesh and Blood, dude. I'm happy that more people are playing Flesh and Blood and that the game is like just growing all the time. That's really cool. I love that. I love to hear that kind of stuff. I wish this was a blue brand with Cinderclaw. Would be really cool if this was a blue brand with Cinderclaw here, because we could make one of our Kodachis Draconic here as well. So let's go Spreading Flames for 3, and then we're going to go Rising Resentment for 3 here as well. Kodachis also make people think twice about going to 1, so they may block just to not get Kodachi locked. That is also very true, Drew. Kodachi locking someone is like that's like people like Kodachi locking someone is like really good. Like it's actually like really insanely good and has a lot of value and does make people think about when they want to block. Absolutely, you're correct about that. Let's go Kodachi. So Rising Resentment for 3, like, doesn't really have any like effects here. It's just for 3 basically. Like it has an on-hit effect, and my opponent may not know that it's irrelevant, but the Lava Burst in my hand already costs 0, so we're not going to get any really like effects off of this here. We'll put our opponent to 8. We activate Fi. We come in for 3 more. Threatening Mask. They'll probably give us a card here, if I had to guess. The fact that this is for 3 means that we're like kind of nullifying the Flick Flack ability to block on our Lava Burst effectively. And it also means that Mask can't block it. So they have to give us a 3 block, or they have to give us a card and Mask. And considering we're at 2, it's pretty logical to think that they would just give us a card and Mask here. Oh, wow. Are they just letting me have Mask here? Wow, they are. Interesting. I'm between Katsu and Fi for this Sunday. I have been grinding a lot of Bolton, but I think those two are probably just a better choice. I mean, yeah, like, so I actually think that Fi and Katsu are both in a really good place right now, personally. Like, I think that they both have, like, a lot of, like, advantages in cards. Like, I think they have a lot of cards that you can play that kind of, like, are, like, multi-matchup, like, kind of thing. Excuse me. My big pull that I would honestly say that I like, that makes me like Fi more than Katsu, is the fact that you can play what's the Breaking Point? Like, Breaking Point is just an extra set of Command and Conquers in my sideboard, so I like that personally. So nah, you gotta block with... Oh, it's your next card with combo. So it doesn't even matter. The Flick Flack is irrelevant here if you're not blocking with a combo card. Okay, so my opponent goes to 1 here. I mean, so I'm giving Mask and a card, basically. And we might be able to get out of this somehow. We can actually get out of this game. I would be very, very surprised. This game felt like a losing battle all the way around. So I'm just gonna block 3, and then if they break this, I take 1. And there's nothing else that they're doing from there, so we're just gonna go to 1. Almost every hand is playable more often in Fi as well. That is very true. That is very true. Like, Fi is like just a lot of head jabs, so your hands are just inherently more playable. Absolutely. All right, so now the game is over. Unless they have something that deals damage to me at instant speed, the game's over here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain links, and they just can't block them all unless they have like a Sigil of Solace here, which would buy them a couple of Kodachi points. But even a Sigil of Solace puts them to 4. And then they can take 1. They take both the Kodachis back to 2, and then they can take the Phoenix Flame down to 1. and then they're stuck giving me 2 more cards, which means they're left with 1 card. So either way, we're in a very valuable spot right here. We're in a very good spot. Yeah, dude, guys, I'm so excited for ProQuest. Like, even if I think that Lexi is, like, honestly kind of abusive, and I mean, honestly, and Dromai got a big bump too, like the tome of the Imperial Scroll or Flame or whatever it's called. I can't remember what the card's called, but that card is so good and was such a big buff for Dromai, like in such a positive way. Like, I think Dromai is going to be really good, and then I think Lexi, Fi and Lexi are probably going to be like the two strongest decks, in my opinion. Dromai, I think I said Fi, Dromai, and yeah, sorry, I was saying Fi in my head. I was talking about Dromai. Sorry, I was like having a stroke. We played 5 turns and had an AVPT of 17.75. That's really good. That's what we want to see. Crazy parts, those numbers aren't good enough to keep up with Lexi. But yeah. So I think that Dromai got a big buff from the Tome card. Taco Cat, what a fun name. I think that Dromai got a big buff from the Tome card, and then I mean Lexi's just like the most powerful deck in the format. So Lexi's just going to continue to dominate. Dash has a lot of effective blocking cards, so we want to bring in Ancestral Empowerments. I also think we're kind of inclined to bring in Sync Belows here, just because... Okay, I was going to say we're also going to bring in Sync Belows here, just because the Dash deck is like very, like all of Dash's cards are very efficient, and like now they have relevant on hits that we need to block, so that's also important. No, I mean, when are you building Royal Fi? Oh my gosh, dude! I actually played against somebody playing Royal Fi the other day, and it was very interesting actually to play that game. It was interesting. Like they were playing a lot of like what I would call quote unquote like bad cards. They were playing like Inflame, and like, not that Rise from the Ashes is a bad card, but they were playing like all these cards to try and make their deck work. And it just like and like all of these cards that they were like playing like were just like kind of bad. Like they weren't doing a lot of damage, and because they didn't have Mask of Momentum or Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, I didn't care to not block a lot. So I just ended up like kind of staring at them a lot of times. I think we want Pouncing Lynx here. So it's an interesting concept, and honestly one I'd be interested to kind of try and like try to put together and see if there's a way to like figure out, can Royal Fi be good enough? That would be a lot of fun to like see if that's an actual like playable strategy that could like that you could make work. This is probably just Arsenal here if I had to guess. I think we're just arsenaling the Bram with Cinderclaw. Just kind of hoping their hand is not great here. Yeah, and then like this hand's really solid. Like we'll probably have to block with something. Like if they're not going to throw a relevant on-hit effect at us, we're not going to block with anything. Like I have no interest in... I have no interest in blocking when they're not going to make us block. Is that yellow Death Touch? Interesting. Are they just like hard aggroing me right now? Is that what's happening? Wow, interesting. Can you explain to me what the energy pot is for? I don't really understand when you'd put it in. I'm still fairly new, so I'm trying to understand why people side certain cards. Yeah, so the energy potion is for Kano and for Icelander. That is strictly the 2 matchups that I have it there for. We're only on 15 blues, so against Icelander, the energy potion is just insane if you can put it into play on turn 0. And it's also really good as just an extra blue. And you have AB2, so having that extra blue like kind of helps like mitigate the matchup a little bit. So that's exactly why it's there for. It's there for the wizard matchups. That's a good question though, Drew. So I guess let's start with Brand, and then we'll throw Kadachi after we throw Brand, and we'll see how they block. Joe, if you're coming to play on Sunday, man, I was like, I know you said you were coming to play, but I was like, dude, please stop and say hi, man. I was like, I honestly, man, I just love like making friends and like meeting people like in the. I just love like meeting people in the community. Like everybody I meet in Flesh and Blood's awesome. Like everybody's super nice, which is funny because I played Magic for a long time and I did not I did not have that experience in Magic a lot. There were a lot. I could honestly talk about a lot of stories where people were just very like rude and condescending. No, that's not what I wanted. Very rude and condescending in a lot of ways playing Magic, and I was just never there for that kind of stuff. So they do block. Interesting. Victory Point is my local, so I'm going to be there regardless. Oh, nice, dude. You just started playing like a month ago? I mean, dude, like nothing wrong with that, dude. It's awesome that you're like into the game, man. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to like. It's just like I love the more people get into Flesh and Blood. Like the more people get into Flesh and Blood, like the tougher the competition gets and the more friends I've made along the way. Like I could Arsenal the Soaring Strike, but I don't really think I want to be arsenaling if I can. Like I think I want to stay off of arsenaling if I can when at all possible. So I kind of like to treat this matchup kind of like I do Bravo, where I bring in the breaking points as 1-for-5s or Command and Conquer effects if I need them to be. I mean, we might as well give this go again, I guess. And then I bring in the Ancestral Empowerments because Azuri likes to block. And then I bring in the Sink Belows because they block well. Our opponent just blocks 6. Interesting. Been an interesting strategy from them. Oh, they just have a Codex? Okay. I mean, if their one card is Codex, it makes sense why they did that. So we're going to get Lava Burst because it's the most explosive card we can get. They got Leave No Witnesses. So we're then going to... Yeah, so if I get Lava Burst, discard Bram with Cinderclaw, I can... Actually, I guess I can get the Phoenix Flame here. Or I guess I should just try to get more value out of this. So if I get Lava Burst, discard Bram with Cinderclaw, and then I block Stab Wound and Flamescale Furnace, I can attack for 7, leave the Lava Burst in my arsenal. And then they still have a 5-card hand, but... And actually... I'm actually going to block with the Soul Bead Strike because there's not like any dragons or anything to hit. So I think I'd rather have the Stab Wound in my deck because it's a card that could be relevant later in the game. So we'll just go buff power here. Yeah, I play Pokemon and the meta is mad stale right now, so I figured I'd try something new. And Fab was really fun, so I plan on making it my new main card game. Dude, that's awesome. I'm like super happy to hear that because like, dude, I grinded Magic for years, like literal years. I grinded Magic. And like I love Magic. Magic's like a fun game, but like when I started playing Flesh and Blood, it was so immediately better. Like I never really looked back. Like I never really like looked back when I started playing Flesh and Blood because like if you look back, a lot of my like older content is me like actually a lot of my older content is me like playing Magic, and like I played Magic for a long time, but then like I got into Flesh and Blood, and dude, it's just like Flesh and Blood's just such a fun game, and it just makes for like such a fun community in my opinion. This turn is like kind of awkward. It kind of requires us to use snaps. I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to get around that. So I mean, I guess I could just play Flame Call Awakening as a 1-for-3 to turn on the rest of my hand, which is like fine. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's fine. Like, I'd like to get the effect off of it, but we're getting to use all of our cards here. We get to use all of our cards here effectively. So Kadachi. Our opponent just goes to 29 here. Let's go ahead and refresh in case maybe it's me that's lagging here. Yeah, I feel like the only time I ever get blown out is because I don't know what the opponent's deck does and not because I just bricked. Yeah, dude, that's the biggest thing about Flesh and Blood for me, is that like there was a lot of that in Magic. Like I ran into that a lot in Magic, where it was like, oh, like just like didn't draw a third land. Now the game's over and I don't get to play anymore. Like, you know, and that's not a fun way to lose games, and it's not a fun way to win games either. Like, so I completely get that. We'll go Flame Call for 3 with no effect here. Fab community stonks on the rise, dude. Absolutely. Flesh and Blood community stocks should always be on the rise. Stonks. Sorry, I said stocks like a complete weeb. Let's go Blaze Headlong for 4. I mean, this is a pretty good turn all the way around, I would say. Oh, man. Part of me is tempted to turn on Mask here if they let this hit, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be Assault the Wound for 8. Oh, I have to use snaps here too. Sorry, opponent. Yep, have to use snaps here, and then we'll go ahead and use Mask, and we'll get a Salt the Wound, and then Salt the Wound is for 8. So we're using our Mask to like really put ourselves ahead here and put ourselves in a way better position. I'm just gonna say no blocks. Our hand is pretty good by itself, so Shakedown. They'll name red, I'm sure. They take the E-Strike. Interesting. Not saying that's wrong. I'm just like, I don't know, like snatches. Some people would probably just like instinct reach for the snatch. They've played 1 Codex and 1 Leave No Witnesses. We've seen 0 Command and Conquers. So they're playing a pretty like typical what looks like a Zuri deck. It just seems like they've drawn the more aggressive side of their deck early on than they have the disruption side of things. So they block a Kadachi with Already Dead. Interesting. I mean, again, we're not making anything cost 1 less here. And then we'll just throw the Snatch because this is a card and Black Tech Whispers. So we're up 6 points, and this hand's pretty mid. I'll just pass here. I don't really see a reason to do anything. Back-to-back Shakedowns. How many is that? 2? Okay, so there's only 1 Shakedown left in their deck. And I was like, they take the Ancestral Empowerment because it's the only red card in our hand. They do know that we have the Stab Wound, which makes me kind of curious to know if they would block this. So I'm actually going to play towards the Stab Wound. So I'm going to pitch Rising Resentment for Kadachi. I'm going to play Brand for 1. I'm going to throw Draconic Kadachi here, which allows us to activate Phi with our last resource and get our Phoenix Flame back, which is pretty solid. Feels pretty good, pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say we're in a great place right now, but I would say we're in an okay place. This will be for 2 because of Tiger Stripe Shuko. They have 0 silver and they have 1 equip, or I guess they technically have 2 equipment block left. And they will use them both. That's the thing about Azuri, is that they use it pretty effectively. And this is give me 1 card. They get to block. I was like, they're just blocking 3 to block 3 here, basically, because they blocked one of our Kodachis. So let's think about this for a second. This is actually a really interesting hand. Because on the surface, like, this hand is Kodachi, Brand, Kodachi, Phoenix Flame, Trigger Shuko, Pitch Snatch to play Breaking Point. So it's a 1, 2, 4, 6, 11 point turn off 4 cards, which is actually below rate. I'm gonna go to 5. I have to be a little careful with the flick knives here, but I'm gonna go to 5. And we're gonna try and take every card out of our opponent's hand here. We're gonna try and take every card out of our opponent's hand. I haven't done all the math, and it depends on how many 2 blocks they have lined up, so we could do it. Yo, first time watching you live. Love the content. Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm glad you were able to stop by the stream, man. Thanks for coming by and hanging out, man. Dude, guys, by the way, this goes for anybody, you know, like Mordecai, you know, just said that, like, you know, first time he's ever got to come by the stream, you know, like, if you pop in the stream and you see me playing and, like, it's your first time, like, actually, like, being live in the chat or anything, you know, please, you know, say hi. You know, like, I love to get to know my viewers and talk to you guys and, like, you know, learn more about you. So I was like, you know, please, I was like, jump in the chat. Mordecai, tell me about yourself, man. Where are you from? What got you into Flesh and Blood? I feel like that's gonna be like my big question moving forward. What got you into Flesh and Blood? Like, what made you want to play Flesh and Blood? Uh-oh. About to use their Tunic resource for something? Okay. So, we didn't even come close to getting every card out of our opponent's hand. Which is not great, but it's fine. So if I block Lava Burst, Shuko Furnace, that's 6. Which means I'm protected from anything that they might have here. And then I get to go Kodachi, Brand, Kodachi, activate Phi. E-Strike for 7, and I do not have... And I won't have a Phoenix Flame until I find another Flame Call Awakening, which there are 2 of left in the deck. Or I could just natty draw the Phoenix Flame from here. So we have a few options here. The one, I mean, is there a reason to just block 6 and swing 7? Is that better than giving my equipment here? So block Lava Burst, Shuko Flamescale Furnace, block whatever they have in hand. Unless it's if they have a Shred, and if they have a Shred and their last Shakedown, that's pretty bad for us. A Shred in their last Shakedown, or Shred and Surgical. They've blocked with 1. They blocked with 2 Surgicals, and I don't remember them pitching any, but I can't remember. I think this is our best line here. I think this is our best line. Because we get to go Kodachi, we get to go... Ooh, so that changes everything, actually. Man, the Sigil there. What a good fake out. What a good fake out from our opponent. Wow. Story time, dude. Absolutely. Started playing around April or May of this year. First in main deck is Phi. Second would be Bravo. So your content is right up my alley. Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. That's really cool, man. I was like, yeah, I love both of those heroes, brother. I love both of those heroes. I think we're still going to go with the line that I talked about here. Now, they do get to take the Kodachis, which is a little unfortunate. They can honestly take the Brand and the Kodachis here. If they do that, they go to 2. which means they're required to give us 2 cards here off the E-Strike. It's also interesting to note that we have more cards in our deck than our Azuri opponent, and they started with more cards in their deck. I don't really know why that is. I don't really know, like, normally I'm way behind on cards when I play against Azuri. All right, so we're getting a Shred and an Isolate here. Isolate's interesting, because pairing that with a Shred could potentially end the game, based off how it goes. So they go to 1. Okay, we finally draw a Sink Below. I mean, we're blocking 7 and just taking 2 cards out of their hand here. It's basically what we're doing here. That was a super fake out. At least 2 cards. Oh, yeah, dude. That was like a crazy... I was not ready for that fake out at all. I have to admit. Like, I was not prepared for that. Shred is a very weird block because them blocking with Shred indicates to me that they have a different one, that they have another Shred in their hand, or they want to... I mean, I guess they could just, like, use Flick Knives here. I don't know. This is an interesting thing. Hey, Marcel, what's going on? How are you, buddy? And yeah, this also says to me that they have another Shred in their hand. So... the problem with blocking with... so if we block Breaking Point and they go for Black Tech Whisperers and we play the Sink Below, if they have a red Shred, it still hits and we lose the top card of our deck. We go to 4. And then I guess if they have a Codex, that's worst case scenario for us. So basically we're hoping that they don't have a red Shred. That's what we're playing around at this current point in time. I could just keep the Breaking Point and try to sink it and see if I find a blue and or a 0 cost card that I could throw here. Let's take a little bit of a greedier line and see what happens. Yeah, we'll go for this. This was, see, yeah, that was completely dumb of me. That was the problem with the Sink Below there, is that if they used the Flick Knives, that was, in my head, I said that to myself before they did anything, and then I just made a completely wrong play right there. So I have to block 6 or I'm literally just dead to the Flick Knives. Yeah, poor play cost me the game here. Poor play cost me the game here. That was such a bad play on my part. That was such a bad play on my part. Oh, I guess we're gonna try and keep Blue and Brand if we can. We'll be lucky if we keep any cards here, though. Now we'll be lucky if we don't die. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll do that. And then Death Touch for 6. So block 5 and die. Yeah. Yeah, my misplay cost us this game, 100%. Now I'm just dead to either one of the Pox tokens. Because now I attack for 3. They give me a card. And then I die. Well played by my opponent. Well played by my opponent. Well played, opponent. Yeah, so if I block with the Breaking Point and then play Sink Below, if I block with Breaking Point, they think we're saving life. They use the Whisperers. Then when we go to Sink Below, it doesn't matter whether they activate Flick Knives. We block 6 of the 4. They had an Isolate. They had a yellow Isolate, and they had a command in hand, and they had a Command and Conquer in Arsenal. They definitely should have kept the yellow Shred for what it's worth. And then after that, we're left with Ronin Renegade, which means they give us 2 cards and they keep their Command and Conquer, which means their hand is probably like Dagger, Command and Conquer, or it's Daggers. They can't swap for Command and Conquer because it's an Arsenal. So we might lose that game either way. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, that was that was a sneaky. That was a good play by my opponent. It was on the board. Like, it was just me playing bad. GG, thanks Marcel. I appreciate it, man. I feel like that was like not my best move there at the end of the game right there. It's bad I didn't read the Nerve Scalpel. That was my spoiler card. I should have known better. That's hilarious. Dude, that's cool. You got a spoiler card, dude? That's awesome, man. I honestly don't know what I would do if I got a spoiler card. Like, I feel like I would lose my mind if I got a spoiler card. But my channel's not very big. Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of great viewers and a lot of great people who like to hang out. But, like, you know, I don't have a very large channel. And there are a lot of people who make a lot better videos than I do. People who just can do it full time, and they can, like, they there are so many flesh and blood content creators that do such an amazing job editing videos. It honestly blows my mind. Like, it's so cool to watch and see, and like see what people come up with. I love watching other flesh and blood players' content, honestly. Is there a name I can refer to you as besides Agroblaze when I see you on Sunday? Yeah, my name's Zach, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, my name's Zach. All right, so we want Pouncing Links, Kodachis. We're going to take out Artivores. We're going to bring in Sinks, Breaking Points, and we're going to bring in Empowerments. So these cards block well. All of these cards block 3 or better. Breaking Point's a solid 1 for 5 with potential effect. Ancestral Empowerments helps us push through on hit effects. And Artivores is way better with a 5-card hand. I subscribe very strongly to the Daniel Rutkowski style of thinking when it comes to this matchup. Ooh, they're on like the Stillbraid Buckler plan. Interesting. I haven't seen somebody do that into me. I've spoiled a handful of cards. Dude, that's really cool, man. That's awesome. Like, dude, getting to spoil cards is that's really cool. So I could just Arsenal and pass here, or I could go Kodachi, Brand, Kodachi, Rising Resentment, Brand, Phoenix Flame, and then not keep an Arsenal based off of what I was talking about a little bit ago. I guess I could also try to keep the yellow Brand here if I wanted to, like, try to take advantage of having a 5-card hand to start the game. That's probably the best play I could make. Call him Aggro Blaze. He gets a thrill out of it. I definitely wouldn't go that far, but I think what Nathaniel is referring to is that, like, I do think it's kind of cool when I'm out and about and like somebody recognizes me from like one of my videos or something like that. Like that's a pretty cool moment. It's definitely fun and awesome of LSS. Yeah. So like the thing that I love honestly about like the whole like spoiler cards is like the videos that people come up with. You know, like, and don't get me wrong, like some people get spoiler cards and like they just make a video showing it and talking about the card. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But like some people like really go above and beyond and like do some pretty cool stuff and like really really have some neat videos. And it's also kind of funny because I'm learning all the time that like there are just flesh and blood creators that I don't even know are out there, just because like I'm not like I honestly, like, part of me kind of thinks it's a little impossible to just like know who everybody is, if I'm being honest. Like it's tough because there are so many like good content creators and it's just tough to know who everybody is. This hand is not very good. Yeah, I don't produce content for the spoilers. Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. I was like, people can only do what their schedule allows. All right, so let's think about our hand here. I mean, I guess if I discard cards, it's just not going to matter. Like, I'm probably just better off to block 9, take 2, and go to 38. Like, that's probably the best play here, is just to... Because even with a Furnace, I can't keep all of my cards here. And I can't keep one card to just throw at somebody, so I should definitely just block with everything here. Oh my gosh. Back to back. 8 cards with all reds. Interesting. I know him by nothing other than Aggro Blaze. It was seared into my memory with all the burn spells he threw at my face in the ye old days of Magic. Bobby's one of the people that's definitely been around since the beginning of, like, me playing games. That is for sure. So go to 30. Pitch Snatch to play Mounting Anger. Ancestral Empowerment. If I draw blue, I can play out the rest of my hand. And if I don't, well, I guess the Ancestral Empowerment's actually not going to do anything for me here. So I guess I'm just better off to block. I'm better off to just block 3 and take 5. And set Chokeslam actually doing work here. Being pretty good. So I guess we'll just block with our 3 block card here. But it's hype. I hype it up by giving all the spoiler content to a random follower. It gives everyone a chance to get some of the goodies. What do you mean? Sorry, I'm not following your messages. I feel like I'm like missing words there or something. I'm not following. So the +1 is going to be irrelevant here. They actually picked a pretty good hand to have Chokeslam. So we'll lead on Mounting Anger. Our Bravo opponents had a very good start here to the game. Which is, I'm really confused by the idea that they're playing Steelbraid Buckler into us. I don't think that's correct. Like as a Bravo player, I don't think you win this game by playing super defensively. Now maybe they're on something I'm not aware of. I don't know. They're also on Warmonger's Diplomacy. Interesting. And then we'll just throw the last Snatch here. They might give us a card and a piece of equipment here and just throw the hammer for 4. They may give us 2 pieces of equipment, throw the hammer, and then Arsenal. So, I don't know. They may just take 4. I highly doubt it. Like, this is worth equipment here. I give away the spoilers and anything LSS sends me and gives me. I chose to give it away versus keeping it. Oh, that's cool, dude. That's awesome, man. Like, that's really cool. I don't know a lot of people that do that. There might be more than I'm aware of, but I don't know a lot of people that do that, so. I mean, block Breaking Point, take 1, go to 32, Ronin Renegade E-Strike here. Or I could also take 4, go to 29, and then go Ronin Renegade, activate E-Strike to play Soaring Strike. No, I think the best play is just to take 1 and then just swing for 10 here. Makes our hand 13 points total. We can start putting some more pressure on, because the way that we'll win this game is by getting in the driver's seat. It's also worth noting that that's the 3rd hand we've seen in like 5 turns that has all reds in it, which is like, I mean, 15 blues, like, it's not something that's supposed to happen a ton in this deck. Like, it does come up from time to time, but not super relevant. All right, so we're now down 2 points. Man, this is another awkward one. Good lord. You win with Dominated Starstruck? Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. On-demand dominate gives me literal nightmares. Yeah, the funny part is like Bravo's ability is really good, and it's one of the weaker ones we've ever had in the game. I've given away full playsets of CNCs. I'm weird like that. I mean, giving away playsets of CNCs is like, dude. It's not. I don't think that's something a lot of people can say. The community wants what it wants. That's the truth. That is the truth. So if let's see, Kadachi, like Kadachi Salto Wound. This is such an awkward hand. Spreading Flames, Kadachi, pitch this for Breaking Point. I mean, I guess I could go Spreading Flames, Kadachi, 1 floating, pitch this for Phi, come in for 2, and then come in with Breaking Point with my last resource. I mean, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. Again, another like sub 12-point hand. Hands are like really not coming together the way we want them to tonight. I will call him back later. Actually, you know what? Let's see if something's wrong. Hang on just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. That was my brother. We're supposed to play pickleball on Friday, and it's supposed to rain, so he was calling to ask about that. So this is 3 chain links that have hit. Let's see if our opponent blocks this or if they want to keep their hand. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this because it means that our Salt to Wound is going to be 4. Okay. So this is not going to hit now. So I don't think our Phoenix Flame is worth it because it'll be a Salt to Wound for 6, and I'd rather save that for a turn when our Salt to Wound's actually going to trigger Shuko, and we've already gotten the value out of Shuko this turn. So I think it's better to kind of wait here and let, and like be just a little patient. Now we're at 24, so we only get so many turns of patience here. Also, we haven't seen a single Sink Below yet. Man, I think we can try to push the tempo here this turn. All right, so they're just like on hard. They're just like on hard blocking out fatiguing style thing, which is funny because like this style deck never beats Lexi, like ever. Watching your streams has motivated me to actually put time in to get better. I put in close to 50 games on Talishar since Bright Light's release. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's like Bobby. That's great. Like, I know our funny friendship banter is normally us insulting each other, but probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me, man. I'm glad you're playing more, dude. You're really good at the game. I've always wondered why. Like, you've always been like such a casual player since the day I met you, and I've always wondered why. When I say casual, I don't mean like casual in like an insulting way. I just mean like you don't really play that often. Like you just play here and there. It's always kind of seemed like. We'll go Draconic Kadachi. We'll come in for 3 with no effect. Let's come in for 1. And then let's come in for 4. Was that their first sigil they've seen? No, it's their second sigil they've seen. So our Salt to Wound would be for 7 if they let this hit. They're not going to. I was like, but honestly, I probably would have taken the mask there if they would have let that hit. I think that would have been worth pushing through an extra 7 points. That would have been our Shuko trigger this turn, so... Make a surge, come in with a hammer. So if I go to 16 here, my turn is... How many Flame Call Awakenings have we seen? 2? Okay. So our turn is Kadachi, Ronin, or I guess it's just Kadachi, Rising Resentment, Ronin, activate Phoenix Flame 7. And then what? There's still 2 snatches left in our deck, and we have what? 2. There's 2 Lava Bursts left in our deck. So we have quite a few cards that we can actually snap to get value out of the later the game goes on here. Actually, it was probably correct to just block with the Stab Wound here. Since I had the extra blue, it's probably just correct for me to block with the Stab Wound in this spot and stay at 19. Because I'm only taking away 1 extra point here. I'm blocking 3 versus serving 1, which is just not a positive exchange, like, ever. And even if, like, we need to be throwing as many attacks as we can at our opponent, we still need to be, actually be making sure that we're, like, assessing damage at a good rate over the course of the game. Finding the balance has always been tough. I have had workout goals that's always competed with time I put into other things. Sound bind, sound body, my dude. I mean, yeah, no, like, Drew's absolutely right. I mean, like, and Bobby, like, I was like, dude, I was like, cards has always been, like, a big priority for me. I mean, like, that's, like, I've never hid that from anybody, you know, like, I grinded Magic for years. I grind, you know, grind Flesh and Blood now. Like, I'm going to 6 Pro Quests. I'm the only person I know actually going to 6 Pro Quests. So, like, I say that because, I say that because, like, I get it, dude. Like, you got other hobbies, you got other things you want to do. Like, it's just like streaming and cards is like my big hobby as far as everything's concerned. So, I mean, like they just kind of intertwine together for me. So I could have snapped there. They might have had a sink below. I don't know. I mean, this is a 14-point turn. At a certain point, I'm gonna have to start blocking. Like we're at 12 now, so we're gonna have to start blocking. Our opponent still has 2, 3, 4, 5 equipment block left. Now we still have our 5 points of equipment block left because the mask is basically never going to be defensive. It's all like we're always looking to play offense with that. It's also weird to me that we haven't seen any sink belows. We have 35 cards left in our deck, and we haven't seen a single sink below. Like, like it's not a very common thing to see. Sink below is the one card that I'll really arsenal and like sit on. And then let's come in for 7. They might just give us 2 cards here. Oh, I mean, Lava Burst would just be for 5 here, so it's not worth. Just let our opponent take 1, and then we'll probably just give our opponent a card here. Give them the sink below. Yep. I don't think there's a reason to sink anything here. Like, our hand is pretty good. We'll play this. They'll more than likely give us a card. If they do give us a card, we're just going to play the empowerment here. Just get value out of it. Like, it's the only one that we've gotten to actually get value out of, so... And then let's come in for 3. If they do let this hit, we can actually banish this, which would be relevant here. I was like, but I highly doubt they're going to. I'm just going to arsenal the Flame Call Awakening and try to take my 1 turn to try and like set up a bigger one here. They still just come in with Hammer, so... Let's see, we do have a Phoenix Flame we can go get, and we have Snap. Kadachi, Brand, Kadachi, Lava Burst, Snap, Flame Call Awakening, Phoenix Flame, Lava Burst. And honestly, might just go get Salta Wound at some point and just sit on the other Lava Burst. Yeah, let's just take 4 here. Like, this is definitely a take 4 turn and go to 8. This is like supposed to be our big swing turn here where we try to flip things around. Now, we're still fighting an uphill battle here. Like, make no mistakes. This is still got a long ways to go. I guess I should have attacked with a Kadachi there in case they decide to block with Civic Steps. If they decide to block with Civic Steps, we're going to waste out on the value that we would have gotten from the Quicken token, but they did not make that decision, so that's cool. So let's come in for 6 here because of Shuko. This is pretty cool here. This is definitely going to be a defense reaction. I'm still going to snap this here. Like, we're still snapping. Yep, they have a sink below in their arsenal. That makes sense. Let's see if they put a card was put on the bottom of the deck. Let's use the Quicken token to come in for 5 go again, which is like really good because now we don't have to arsenal our Lava Burst. We can just throw the Lava Burst, and if it hits, then we're still in a spot where we're going to use the mask and go get a Salta Wound. Salta Wound at this point, if anything hits, it's going to be for 6. I mean, I guess technically they can block everything from here. They give me a card here. They're not going to, though. Yeah, we're going to go get Salta Wound. It's by far our best option at this point. Phoenix Flame for 1. Them blocking 1 here actually lets them block 2. And then same thing again, they're going to give us Tech Plating. Blocking 1 is blocking 2 here. What are your thoughts on Reinforced Line? Reinforced Line is a great Flesh and Blood card, and I don't think it's wrong to play. I don't think it's wrong to play Reinforced Line by any means. I am just I think I'm more focused on beating Lexi than I am beating Bravo. And I know that Reinforced Line also kind of plays into Azuri a little bit, but I just think it's better to be on the I just think it's better to be on having a stroke right now. I just think it's better to be on like Command and Conquer and Breaking Points. But Reinforced Line's a great card, man. Reinforced Line's a great card that I played in a lot of decks. So Brand, Kadachi, Rising Resentment. If Rising Resentment hits, we banish this in Kadachi. Phoenix Flame. I mean, at this point, we're just going by death by 1,000 cut, going for death by 1,000 cuts. They have 2 pieces of equipment block that they can actually block with. I mean, utilizing this does nothing for me. Yeah, utilizing the Quicken token like gives me like, I mean, I guess I technically get some value out of it, but I don't really get any value out of it. Activate this for free. Come in for 2. Come in for 5. Are you willing to go to 7 to swing hammer at me? I guess they're willing to go to 10 to swing hammer at me. Yeah, I'll sink this. Like, there's one more sink in our deck that we haven't seen yet. I'm not gonna sink anything here because I can go Kadachi, or I can go Brand, Kadachi, Mounting Anger into Phoenix Flame, which is 1, 2, 6, 8, maybe 9. So I mean, I guess I could sink the Stab Wound here. Try to find something better. Lol. Moto Bug, is that you? I haven't had that bug in a while. I know that games like come up with like a like RNG way of like giving you cards to draw, but it seems like the similar stuff is always happening. All right, Brand for 1. It's also very relevant to note that I still have Furnace and Shuko. And we have 1 sink below we haven't seen yet, right? Like, am I going crazy? There's still 1 left, right? We've only seen 2. Yeah, we've only seen 2. We did pitch a few red cards. Are they gonna take that? Interesting. And then let's come in for 3 here. I mean, I guess they decided that... Yeah, so that was actually a better play by them, which is funny to think about. Them giving me the Mounting Anger hit was actually a better play. Thanks, man. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Happy to help. Wonder why... Huh. Wonder why that's not popping up. That's weird. So this is not a great hand. Yeah, this is an interesting hand. I think we're just taking 4 here, though. They have 0 sigils left, right? So there's no like way for them to gain instants. Like for them to instant gain 3, which is like good for us. What's the game plan against Lexi? Mask of Momentum or Lynx? You want Mask of Momentum against Lexi, and you're bringing in 3 Command and Conquers. You bring in 3 Command and Conquers, 3 Breaking Points, and 3 Sink Belows. And you cut 1 Phoenix Flame and 3 Flame Call Awakenings and play 62 cards. That's the idea with my list. So I'm going to throw Soulbeat Strike at the end because it's more points, which I like. Anything that I can do to add more points to my turn is going to be good for us. Pitching the Rising Resentment also gives us like known go again later. Come in here. I don't think our opponent's required to give us any points, any cards here if they don't want to. This is for 2. Come in for 1, which they can go to 3 if they want to, and then I'll come in for 2. This is a pretty lackluster hand. And if they decide to block this and just swing the hammer, I will give Furnace. Actually, I won't. This is a pretty good hand. I'm just going to play Sink here. Maybe I should have given Mask and then Arsenal to Sink. How many defense reactions do they have left? They've played all 3 Fates, and there's 1 Sink Below left in their deck. Plus some number of unmovables, I'm sure that like they just didn't cut because they're good value. They blocked that Kodachi. And then we come in with Soaring Strike. They're going to give us their last Sink Below here. And then I'm going to come in with Snatch. They honestly might have a Pummel here in their arsenal that they've just been like sitting on forever, just like trying to hang on to it. That might be what their game plan is right now. I like... As good of a job as our opponent has done so far, I just don't think that they can do it. Like, I think we're going to get them because it's Kodachi, Soaring Strike, Lava Vein Loyalty, Blaze Headlong, and then Phoenix Flame. So they go to 1, give me a card, give me a card, give me a card. Yeah, they're just dead this turn. Like, I don't think they can get out of this one from here. The Kodachis are just too good. Also, you're just spending all your 3 blocks on my Kodachis, which is just wrong. because I ended up having to pitch multiple breakpoints over the course of the game, and so it's lined up in a beneficial way for us. I guess they just realized the game's over there. Good game. Total damage threatened 161. Shoo! 16 turns. It took us 16 turns. The most damage we ever dealt to an opponent to them that game was 7. I mean, our opponent played that as patiently as I've ever seen it played. Like, I have to say that for him. Like, they waited it out. Shoo. All right, I'm going to take like 2 minutes here. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, fill up my water, and when I come back, we'll be playing more Fi. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Okay, short break and we're back. Let's hop back into it. Lucky number 7. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yes, sir. Lucky number 7. I'm gonna be honest. That felt like a game, like that Bravo game, felt like a game we were gonna lose. That did not feel like a game that was gonna come out in our favor. Definitely felt like I fell behind pretty early in that matchup, and felt like my opponent like had some pretty well timed defense reactions. So I don't know. Like I don't think the super defensive style of play is the way you beat Fi as Bravo. I think we just want to go second in this matchup. I just don't think that's how you beat Bravo, or how you beat Fi as Bravo is by playing super defensively. Like they will eventually outlast you. If you're playing Kodachis, it's impossible for your opponent to block everything. At some point, like if you have Kodachis, you'll just get there. If you're playing Emberblade and you have 2 Phoenix Flames, you literally like just cannot be fatigued if you have tempo at the end of the game. Like it's just how it is. So, into Rhinar. I'm thinking Ancestral Empowerment and no Sync Belows. Maybe we're just going to run 60 and just try to run them over here. They do play Command and Conquerors, but Pummel's not as common in their deck, so I feel more comfortable arsenaling, and we definitely want Mask of the Pouncing Lynx here. So, I don't know. I like that we get to go second, though. Oh, they're on Cross Trap and Flesh Bag, so they're on, like, Cross Trap means they're pretty aggressive, so probably just going to be a race here. Thoughts on Double Strike? When running Mask of Momentum, Double Strike is a very good card. Like Double Strike is a great card. Like I don't. Again, it's another one of those cards that I don't have anything against. I own 3 of them because I've played it in 5 multiple times. It's a card that is really good with Mask of Momentum, but it's a card that's like only good at triggering Mask of Momentum. If that makes any sense. Like it's like a 0 for 2 that can occasionally be a that can be like a 0 for 3 if you have Shuko. So I guess it's just another head jab, but it's not draconic. So like again, I don't think it's bad, but I couldn't find a way to fit it into my list. One of the big problems that I have with that card right now in the metagame is that like honestly against Lexi you want to block quite a bit. Like you're probably blocking with minimum 1 card almost every turn, if not every other turn in that matchup, in my opinion. So, like, it's a 2 block that doesn't block, that, like, doesn't do, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't do a ton, but it feels like it doesn't do a ton, if I'm being honest. Be honest with me, man. Is Bolton the play Sunday? It is the deck I am most practiced with, but I know it's not the best. So, I mean, I would tell you that Bolton's not the best deck in the metagame right now. But I am a firm believer that there is a certain level of value that you get from being a specialist when it comes to heroes and classes. Like we're down 15 points to start this game. That's joyous. Kodachi, Soaring Strike, 5 draw card. 1, 2, 6, 11, or 5 go again. 5 draw card is 10. So this is definitely just a better play. So I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Bolton's not the best deck in the format. Bolton has gotten a lot of tools. Like, and I think Bolton is like in a better place than it has been since I've started. Especially if you're on like the Lumina Bolton like plan, like, which I think is like pretty common now. But with all of that in mind, I like there's a lot to be said for like being a specialist in this game. So like if you understand Bolton and you understand its matchups, oh hiss. This really sucks. Like that's actually just terrible because now we can do nothing with our turn. Like, we can't activate Phi here because we have 1 Draconic Chain Link. We can do nothing. We could have pitched 2 E-Strikes to activate Phi to get a Phoenix Flame and then have it stripped from our hand. So yeah, we literally just have to pass. That was the best flesh bag I've ever seen against anytime I've ever been playing against a hero ever. So, but yeah, dude, if you know a lot of the matchups, man, like and you feel comfortable with it, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing a deck that you've taken the time to specialize in. Like I would say that to anybody, honestly. Art of War is a 0 for 5. Lol. In my Katsu Tiger list, it goes great for Double Strike. Also, how's it going, everyone? Hey, Billy, what's going on, man? So we're gonna have to come back to the fact that you just called Art of War. Oh, you're saying if you play Art of War, Double Strike is a 0 for 5. I'm following now. Yes, that is true. And a 0 for 5 is very good. Art of War and Double Strike also play really well together. Those are also very good cards like that play well in conjunction with each other because your Art of War automatically becomes a 1 for 2 off of one card. I mean, we're down 15 points. Like we got some making up. We got some ground to catch up here. This is just going to be E-Strike for draw a card, I think. Hopefully we don't draw a blue. And we did. But it's a blue that's playable, so it's not the end of the world. Our opponent goes to 32 here. We're now down 10 points, which is a little bit better. We took 2 last turn cycle. Is that all 3 Blood Rush Bellows? Oh my gosh. Woo! Woo! Our opponent's running hot right now. Also, head leads the tail is great with Double Strike. Dude, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'd have to look up what head leads the tail does off the top of my head. I'd have to look up what that card does. I guess we'll keep the 0 for 3 here. Like, seems like keeping the 0 for 3 seems like our best play. Hopefully we just like don't die because our opponent's like draws have been insane. I mean, block. So, yo, Adya Lauder. Adya Lauder. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thanks for subbing. I appreciate it. And sorry, I saw you said something in chat. I'm trying to figure out how to get through this turn real quick. I mean, I think I need to go to 16. They're just going to Arsenal here. Like, they don't have any 0-cost cards in their deck. So, long-time watcher, first time watching your stream. Just want to say I appreciate the content you put out. Love from Indonesia. 3 BRBs. Oh, three Blood Rush Bellows back-to-back is like, dude, like back-to-back-to-back is absolutely insane. But, dude, thank you for that. That's, like, super nice, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching my videos, man, and being part of the chat. Dude, it means a lot. Appreciate you hanging out tonight, man. So I've been asking people who tell me that they're new to the channel, what got you into Flesh and Blood? Like, when did you start playing and what got you into Flesh and Blood, man? Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. All right, so Kadachi, Brand. Like, I really want to have a big turn, but, like, I feel like I'm so far behind that I need to put enough pressure on my opponent to where, like, they feel like they can't just keep all of their cards. Because even after hitting our opponent with 3 attacks, we're still down 13 points. Well, the good news is that they can't have another Blood Rush Bellows. That is the good news. There are 0 copies of Blood Rush Bellows left in their deck. They have played all 3 of them. So they've also discarded all 3 Command and Conquers, so us arsenaling here to wait for a better turn doesn't actually harm us in any way. I don't think there's any Command and Conquer effects that are left. We're down 11. I think we're just going to have a big turn to like try and get back into this game. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the hand to do it. Come on, get greedy. Crack those gloves and roll a 1. Last time I played against a Rhinar and I was playing Fi, I got super lucky. I was losing the game and they actually cracked back-to-back ones on their rolls, and I ended up winning the game because of it. It's a 1-cost 3 attack with Go Again, and when you attack with it, you name a card. All cards in the chain link with the chosen name get +1. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty cool, Billy. Works well with Phoenix Flames too. Oh, talking about the head leads a tail? Yeah, I could see that being like a really cool card to play with. I could see that being a really cool card to play with Phoenix Flames there, absolutely. So, I mean, we could have a pretty good turn. If I blocked with Furnace, took 7, went to 9, I'm then down 18 points, which I don't think is correct. But my hand is... Let's tell our opponent here that we're thinking. Our opponent is... Our hand is... Kadachi's. So it's 1-1... It's 2, 5, 8... 12, 13. Right, am I counting this right? 1, 2, 5, 8, 12, 13, 15, plus this. Plus the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx that we would just take on the first rip that we found. Oh, man. I'm honestly wondering if that many Blood Rush Bellows was just too much to come back from. Feels like it might have been, honestly. I started playing at Welcome to Wraith, but stopped right before Monarch due to distribution issues in my country. 3+ month delays. Oh, wow. I just started playing again at Nationals. Always enjoyed the game. Well, dude, I'm sorry that you had to step away because of, like distribution issues. That sucks. I hate that. But I'm glad you're back, dude. I'm glad you're back and playing, man. Like, I tell everybody, like, the more people that play in Flesh and Blood, the better, dude. The more people that play, the better. So... I was like, dude, I'm glad that you're back and playing. I hate that you had to step away, but I mean, let's just go ahead and do this. Lava Burst is guaranteed 5. Salt and Wound is already at 4. Let's just go ahead and get Salt and Wound because it's already at 4, which means if 2 more things hit, it's just going to be better than our Lava Burst. It was also probably kind of questionable to crack it that early on the chain. I guess I just want to make sure that hits. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm able to go get Salt the Wound. So now Salt the Wound is exactly the same as our Lava Burst, except Lava Burst works better with our cards later in the game. You don't want to block these 1 power attacks, which is cool because, like, they're coming in for 1, but they're really coming in for 2 here. Okay, their equipment is going to be good. That means that they're going to have a defense reaction, or they're going to have to give us an extra card. Or they're going to have to give us 2 cards to stop the snatch, which is really good for us. So 2 points, 3 points. This gets a card. No. Well, we're going to throw the snatch. This is going to, like, I mean, we're going to snap this. Like, there's no time. Like, this is our turn to try and catch up. The crazy part is, like, we're still moderately in this game, and we haven't seen a single Art of War or Spreading Flames. And those are, like, our quote-unquote power cards to, like, really put us ahead in the game. Also, I think the only reason we're really losing is because our opponents played all 3. Like, our opponent's first 3 turns were all Blood Rush turns, which is so good for them. Like, there's so much value in that for them. Like, it's crazy how good that is. I mean, if they give us a card here, like, and it's something with Go Again, like Mounting Anger, Soaring Strike, there are so many good cards here. I don't know what they have that they could honestly even be thinking about keeping. Like, the only thing that I could think that they would be debating is if they had, like, double barraging Beatdown into something that intimidates. Okay, so they didn't have that. They blocked this and then Salt and Wound for 7. Which if they take this, they go to 10, and then all of a sudden we're down 1. We're down 1, and they have 1 point of equipment block left. We have 2. Oh, no. Yeah, they give us another card. Okay, so they go to 13. This hand is not great. Like, going to 6 is a little worrisome. So, Kadachi, Ronin, Phoenix Flame, activate 5 Phoenix Flame. Or I get to add 1 more point to the board if I do it. So I should definitely just block 3 here. Blocking 3 here is by far the most efficient play. I could alternatively throw the Soul Bead Strike at my opponent, which would be for 2 points, because we're guaranteed to trigger Shuko, so blocking with it is just more effective. So this is a 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 2, 5, 6, 8 points off of 3 cards. I mean, 8 points off of 3 cards is not bad. Looking for more of like the 11 range. Those are more like chain style numbers that I'd hope to be hitting every turn, but it's tough to be trying to hit numbers that high. And we drew a Soul Bead Strike, so we probably just would have arsenaled the Soul Bead Strike there. Like, if they had let the Snatch hit turn before last, we would have drawn Soul Bead Strike. So I would have just been arsenaling the Soul Bead Strike there. Which, I mean, we would have been able to... this is a good hand. Oh, man. I was like, just let my opponent die. I was like, let them die. Oh, boy. Okay, so let's do this math here. So in order for them to play the Alpha Rampage that they just put into their hand, right? Yeah, it didn't show me. The Beast Within got an Alpha Rampage. That means they have to pitch a card to play the card and discard a card. So if I block Salt and Wound and Soaring Strike here, I'm actually able to... Oh, man. I go to 8, and then once I'm at 8, they come in for 9. They take my Snatch. I block 2, take 7, go to 1. Then I'm dead to Reckless Swing no matter what. So I'm at 1 or 2, which is Reckless Swingable either way. And I can't throw the Spreading Flames. I wish I'd have left that in my hand. I think it's better... I think it's better to block everything. Now, if they have a Claw play, I'm dead regardless. Like, if they can go Claw, I block, go to 8. Yeah, so they're just going to do this. And now take 7, go to 2. And then I'm just going to pass and arsenal this. I have to, like, try to hope that I can have try to put together a turn here, because we're definitely in a bad spot. Okay. Okay, so they get to keep their action point, which means they're probably only doing one thing. But unfortunately, we don't have 2/3 blocks in our hand, so, and with quad reds here, we're not looking at a very explosive turn. The difference in 1 and 2 is nothing for us here. I guess it separates a 2 block, but I think I need to keep this and throw 4. We at least get a card out of their hand. Unless they just have the Reckless Rampage. Reckless Rampage kills us. Most of their hands with Reckless Rampage kill us almost at any time. So... Okay, so this is Reckless Rampage. No? I guess they just decided to keep... Or Reckless Swing. Spreading Flames, Empowerment, Lava Vein. Think I have to block here. Like, they blocked with 2 6s. They must have not been able to guarantee it. I don't know. That or they're just, like, BMing us. Like, it's very possible our opponent's just BMing us. Now they have it. Like, now they have to have it here. Yeah. I was like, that's the only reason they block with 2 cards. So they were just trying to set it up. All right. Good game, opponent. I mean, that was like a pretty high rolling game from our opponent. That the crazy part is we still almost won. I just lost a game where our opponent played their first 3 turns, all had a Blood Rush in them. Like, how crazy is that? That's crazy to think about. We almost won that game. I really just think that speaks more to the level of, like, how poor Reinhar's position in the meta. I think we want to go second here. So Bolton's interesting because Bolton does provide a lot of, like, good cards that they actually play into us. Pretty close after them having 3 BRBs and you playing 0 Art of Wars. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, honestly, and that's a good point too. An Art of War, like, maybe even swings that in our favor enough to get there. I don't know. They're going to go first. Oh, I picked to go second, duh. I think we definitely want sinks. So since I'm going second, do I want to cut a Phoenix Flame, play the Lexi style strategy? Because they'll block effectively. I think we do. I think we just want to play Mask of Momentum and play the Lexi cards. Play 62 cards and just pressure our opponent over the course of the game. Now, they do have a lot of equipment block. They actually got a lot of really cool stuff from Dusk Till Dawn and this new set here. Let's just block 6 here. So the Soulbound Resolve is cool because it blocks for 3 and then it blocks for 2. Now it does this at the cost of a card from their hand, but so they've charged. So if I blocked here, I'd take 1. I think I'm okay taking 4. My cards are pretty good. I think I'd rather keep the cards. Yeah, we'll just go to 33. I hate taking 7 on turn 0, but play 1 against Dash after this one. I need practice in Defy. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Let's do it. That sounds like a plan, boss. It also would not hurt me to be prepared for Dash going into ProQuest season with this, so be a good one to get a game against. Be a good refresher for me. So they're gonna land. They're gonna let Brand through. No, they're gonna play Sink Below. Okay. Well, they're gonna hate they gave up that card later, unless they just have another one. So Kadachi, Ronin, Renegade. Activate 5 for free. Come in for 1. No Shuko trigger here. We haven't played anything to set it off yet. They give Iron Song versus here. So they want to keep their hand. Let's see if they just give Soulbound Resolve and Warband of Baloney. I know this is actually Bologna, but I just like saying Baloney. Somebody said it at an Armory event the other night, and I thought it was hilarious. And they're choosing not to charge. Okay. So we got a lot of their equipment right there. I mean, yeah, I think we're just going to sink this. I don't think there's a reason to put anything on the bottom. We have another good 3 block in our hand if we need it for anything. So if I go to 27 here, I'm just coming in for 7. So I'm taking 6, swinging 7, and then arsenaling a card. I think that's fine because we're up on equipment at this point. Like, I know we're down on life, but we are up on our equipment block that we have over the course of the game. So, buff power. I assume they're on, if they're on a race face, I assume they're on Command and Conquer too. Their hand must be pretty good. I'm honestly just kind of hoping it's not Lumina good at this point. Spreading Flames, Brand, Blaze, 5 for free. Come in with the Phoenix Flame and then Breaking Point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 1 short of making that happen. Yeah, I'll say no blocks here. Take 3. If they want to activate Bolton, we go to 24. The funny thing is, like, when I used to play online against Bolton for the longest time, I used to just kind of like laugh because I thought Bolton wasn't very good. But I've been playing like Bolton has like gotten a lot of help, I think, over the last few sets. Like I think Warband of Bologna was a good card. Like, and I think that like Bolton has gotten some very good additions to its deck. Is it arguably better to just go Spreading Flames, pitching the Breaking Point, and then go, well, this would be for 2, this would be for 3, this would be for 3. Okay, so let's actually map this out here and see what's better. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd actually throw this if they don't block anything because it would give me... So this would be 3, 5, 9. It would be 9 on hit mask. So 9, and then we have 11, 12 from this, and then we go to 15 from the Brand. And this is pitching the Breaking Point. Or our other option is to pitch Brand. So we go Spreading Flames, 1 floating, Brand. So this is 3, 6, 10, 12... 17, so it's just more points and we get an on-hit effect, so this is just by far the best play. We're getting more points out of our hand and we're getting more relevant hits. So Brand for 3. A lot of people will block the second Chain Link because they're worried about Mask being like a breakpoint card if they don't want to have to block. I think our opponent's just committing to saying that they don't really care. The funny part is our opponent can keep every card in their hand if they wanted to because of the Bologna or because of the Soulbound Resolve. So this is 1, 2, 3 plus charging a card is 4. So they still technically lose a card from their hand, but it actually does give them a way to cover everything. Activate Phi, come in for 2 because of the Spreading Flames, and then we'll come in with the Breaking Point for 5. When this is like a pretty sweet play because this is like just a Command and Conquer. I mean, unless they have a defense reaction, it doesn't have that line of text. But I'm hoping this is a play that's good enough to actually swing us tempo here. Because if they want to block with a Soulbound Resolve and a card from hand, they're left with 1 card in hand and 1 card in their arsenal. Or they're forced to give us 2 cards from their hand. Or I guess they could just lose their arsenal here if they want to. Okay, that's also a play. So now we're up 2 points. We have more equipment block than they do. And... oh, wow. So that's their whole turn. Is just to come in with a Bolting Blade for 4. Talk about a below rate turn for our opponent here. All right, so let's look at our hand here and see what we can make happen. It'd be Rising Resentment, Kadachi, Lava Vein Loyalty. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 chain links, which means we have 2 opportunities at putting Mask on the chain. Mask on hit effect if they actually block at 3, which they have done so far. But our opponent could always swap and then start blocking at 2 instead of 3 here to try and throw us off a little bit. So we'd have to make sure that we were setting up our pivotal, like we'd have to make sure that we're saving our Blaze Headlong for a relevant on hit, like for our mask effect. So that's if we keep everything. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. It's 12 with 2 on hit effects. If I block 3, so if I block 3, I take 4, go to 13, or I have the, and then at that point, my hand is Kodachi. Actually, it's actually Kodachi this and then this. So either way, it's 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's actually a 13-point turn cycle because I get 12 points either like this way or I get to block here. So I get to take mask off. I'm taking mask off the chain one time in order to block with one more card. So if they block on the second chain link here, we can actually still get them by attempting to put a second mask on the chain. So we're going to go Kodachi. And then I'm going to throw the Rising Resentment second to see how they block. They're going to take the Kodachi, which is smart. Let's see how you block. If you block here, we're actually going to get a chance to put a second Mask of Momentum on the stack. Okay, nice. Let's go. You'd love to see this. This is exactly what we wanted to happen here. The problem here is that the second Mask of Momentum can just be blocked with one of their equipment pieces. We can't actually use Blaze Headlong here to pressure Mask as a second time. So that's the downfall of what we're looking at. Like Warband of Bologna just blocks this effectively here. The good news is that they're going to have two points of equipment block left, and we have our full suite left. We have yet to use Snapdragon Scalers either, so if we have an awkward hand, we're still in a position where we can bail ourselves out a little bit. I mean, this hand's not great. So what is this? What did this do? The next time you hit this turn, gain 1 life. So this basically goes to our hero, goes to their soul, and they go to 10. So we're both at 10 if we let this hit. I think arsenaling my Spreading Flames and going to 10, keeping all of my block, and then throwing 11 points at our opponent is a good play. Lumina Ascension, okay. I mean, that's unfortunate. So not having any 3 blocks in our hand is really awkward. Like, that actually just makes our hand so bad. So if I go Brand, Rising Resentment, Furnace, I block this out. We're both at 10. Or they go to 12 and I go to 2. I mean, technically I could go to 6 and they could go to 11. Let's do that. Let's go to 6 and let them go to 11. I think that's a better play. Yeah, I think that's a better play. Okay. So oh, they actually didn't go to 11? So that was just a 4-point swing for them because of the sink below. And they actually don't even get the card into their soul. It just goes on the bottom, I think. I'm not interested in making anything cost less. We'll throw this because we need our mask kit to be Blaze Headlong. We need to put the pressure on them in a good way with Blaze here. Okay. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't think there's anything that I can do about it here. We had to keep our mask to make them... we had to make them give us a card here. We'll come in for 1. Okay, so they're giving up their last point of Soulbound Resolve. And then we're just going to Arsenal here. And this hand is pretty solid. Is this just going to be 7? No, it's go again. So... Courageous Steel Hand is a 0 for 3, and it says if you've charged this turn, so... I'm just gonna give... I'm gonna take 4 and go to 2. I'm gonna take 4 and go to 2 and hope it's not Lumina. So they actually haven't charged this turn, which means we can just block 5 here. So I block 5, stay at 2, and then my turn is Spreading Flames, Brand, Kodachi, Phoenix Flame. Yeah. Okay, so they're they're at 3. We're never really threatening Mask. Like, getting rid of Mask here is fine. Okay. The great thing about this is almost every single card I'm going to play this turn requires a card from their hand. Spreading Flames. Brand for 3 because of double Spreading Flames. Kodachi's going to be for 3, and then our Phoenix Flame's going to be for 3, and they're actually dead. All right, wow. We ended up crossing the finish line. This was a close game, and honestly, our opponent put a lot of pressure on us here. I did not think we were going to get across the finish line. Shoo! Good game, opponent. 7 turns. I threatened 73 damage. Over 7 turns, we had an AVPT of 13.71. Like, again, not fantastic, but good enough to cross the finish line. So, and honestly, the thing, like, is like, I seeing Bolton at ProQuest is not going to be crazy in my opinion, just because I don't think the deck is horrible. And like, I'm not just saying that because Drew's saying he might play it this weekend. Like, I just honestly don't think that seeing it is going to be like a crazy thing to see. All right, let's see here. I'm still ready for that game since it looks like this one is about to wrap up. Okay, cool. Bobby already beat me to asking. All right, Bobby boy. Let's do it, big fella. I definitely want to go second against Bobby. Pretty much always want to go second in these aggro mirrors. I like Mask of Momentum here. I also think we're going to treat this kind of like we do Lexi. We're gonna bring, or like we do, like maybe we don't want Sink Belows. Maybe we don't want Sink Belows or Breaking Points. Maybe we just want to bring in Ancestral Empowerments and just try to race. I don't know. Because Flame Call Awakening and Art of War is some dumb stuff. Yeah, let's just try it. Let's try our 60 like this and see what happens. Bobby's starting with the Plasma mainline, which is like not super surprising. Like, I figured he would be playing the aggro version into me, and I'm curious to know if he can actually beat me consistently. Because if the Plasma mainline deck can beat Fi consistently, like, I mean, I think that says quite a bit about the Plasma mainline deck, honestly, that him and I have been cooking up. Now, he's definitely been cooking it up more than I have recently. Like, he has been continuing to grind the Plasma mainline deck and, like, testing Dash. And, like, I would say over the last, like, few days, I've really, like, cooled off on that whole thing. Teklo Pounder with 4 counters on turn 0 is very good. So, I mean, yeah, let's go get him. Oh, man. So Bobby's just gonna let this happen. So, I mean, yeah, like Salt to Wound is a very good card, and I want to be using it as much as I can. So let's go Kadachi. So Salt the Wound's already coming in for 4 here, just because it hit one time and it's getting the buff effect from the Mounting Anger. Interesting that Bobby blocks Kadachi. I wonder if Bobby's just going to commit to like fully blocking out here after that. So we have 2 Draconic Chain Links now. Phoenix Flame for 1. I mean, again, if Bobby keeps blocking like my lackluster stuff here, like cool. Like my turn wasn't really that impressive. This was more of an awkward hand than anything here. So if Bobby wants to just continue to block away, like I'm not going to complain, because I think that's like we're probably going to get some good cards out of his deck here. Like he already gave us a max V. I was like Crown on a 1 block. Interesting. We're going to activate 5 for free. We're going to come in with the Kadachi because we're going to get the counter off of Shuko regardless. So we want to pitch the Phoenix Flame to make our other 2 Flame Call Awakenings better throughout the course of the game. And then this is going to be for 6. So Bobby takes 4, goes to 31. Now, Bobby still gets to probably have a pretty good hand here, if I had to guess. Okay, he's just going to play Teklo-Core. Set up for a pretty aggressive hand here. I mean, we're going to keep the pressure on as much as humanly possible. This would be so much better if this was a blue Brand with Cinderclaw right here. So if I go Spreading Flames, I got scared to take all that damage to max VU. Let's see. You taking it all to throw max V would be a mistake, I think. Okay, so Spreading Flames, Lava Vein Loyalty, Kadachi, Mounting Anger, Phi. Or is my turn better off as Mounting Anger? Like, am I better off to Arsenal the Spreading Flames here and go Mounting Anger, Lava Vein? No, this is tough. Let's tell Bobby we're thinking here. I want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my cards here. So if I go Spreading Flames is 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 13 points, no Arsenal. Or if I keep my Spreading Flames, my hand is Mounting Anger. So it's 4, 5/6 here. 7, 8, 9 plus an Arsenal. So I'm losing 5 points here. But I also am taking a chance that I see a much better turn here. I think let's Arsenal. I think I'm gonna Arsenal the Spreading Flames here. Like, I just think arsenaling the Spreading Flames here gives me a better setup play. And playing against Dash, I'm not super worried about running into like a running into like a Command and Conquer or like something crazy like that. So So Bobby does give me a twin drive, which is interesting. Kind of curious to know what that means his hand is. Let's go Lava Vein for 2. I was like, he's going to give me Heart here, which is like fine because like he has to block with Heart at some point, and the sooner we force him to do that, the better. Interesting. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then he gives us Heart and keeps his last 2 cards. Well, this isn't exactly the Spreading Flames turn that dreams are made of here. I mean, block 6 and throw 7 is 13 points. Because we don't even have a... Yeah, let's just block 6 and throw 7. Let's just take our 13-point value turn here. So I'm up 4 points and I'm getting ready to throw 7. Now Bobby could swing this with like a very big turn in his favor. Like it's not crazy to think that Bobby could have like a 20 like a between a 20 and 30 point turn. Dash does a lot of really good stuff. If Bobby does have like a 20-point turn, we're currently up 11, so that's kind of good for us. Okay, High Octane's looking really good, and the fact that he gets to play it off of the Teklo core is like just so... There's so much value in that. So this is for 5. So we're looking to not block this turn if we can. I'm just gonna go ahead and just block 2 with my Furnace here. Don't see a reason to not use it. Hopefully Bobby's turn's like not too crazy. Okay. So Bobby did crank. Is he going to add a counter from the main line? It appears the answer to that is no. I will show you Ancestral Empowerment. Take 4. Go to 26. I'm up 4 and you have 2 cards in hand. Okay, so Harpoon's not going to like throw us out here. He's going to play Teklo Core, move a counter, go up to 3, and then he's going to pistol me twice. Yeah, so I'm going to go to 22 here, and then Bobby's going to activate Backup Protocol Red and probably get the maximum velocity. I mean, he almost has to be able to play it here. Yeah, okay, cool. So Bobby's setting up for a very explosive play. All right, so we need this turn to be very, very good. Like, it's crazy to think that Bobby wouldn't be able to play it. Like, I would say it's almost like he has to be able to play it here, I would say. So let's go Kadachi. Let's see if you give me the heart. Are you going to give me the heart? No. Okay. Let's go Soaring Strike. I mean, with 4 resources, Bobby could have like a 0, a 1, a 1, block with a card in heart, and still play his maximum velocity, which is like really good for him. If Bobby can still play his max V after blocking with a 0 coster, would be absolutely insane. Let's come in for 2. And then this is for what, 7? 7 on-hit mask. I mean, at this point, you're forced to decide. Is it all 3 cards in your hand or mask? And honestly, if Bobby gives me all 3 cards in his hand, we've probably just won the game. Like, we've probably just won the game if that's the route he decides to take here. I love cheap thrills. I mean, I think I'm going to snap here. Like, it's a chance, but if I don't use it now, I don't know when I'm going to use it. Like, it's not because I'm on the back foot, but because I think I just need to be... I need to be trying to proactively take a card out of his hand here. Ah, dang. I mean, I could Kodachi, but I think it's better. Bobby basically said that, like, I've had so much tempo that, like, he's had to block multiple times a turn, which is very true. He has had to block multiple times a turn. Let's just Arsenal this. Like, I hate that we wasted our snaps on it, but again, I don't really think we could not do it there. So this is for 7. Let's just go ahead and block 4. Like, I highly doubt that there's a non-hit effect here, but there could be an item he wants to put into play. He might not be able to play his maximum velocity, and it might have been block with an item or block with a 0 coster last turn or block with nothing. I'm not sure. Why did he activate Heart? I don't understand. So let's come in with Soaring Strike, because if Bobby decides to take 1 here and go to 3, we can actually give our E-Strike go again. And this is actually just good enough to take both the cards out of his hand. Because, oh wow, we're getting the tome there. That's a feels good. We put Bobby to 2. Bobby's Teklo Core resources, like, he can shoot us with a pistol here, which is fine. I'm just gonna go to 13. And then this hand ends the game. Let's just make sure that I'm not gonna do something really dumb here. So if I pitch Brand, I actually can't play both Kodachis. Bobby wants to play one more after this. I like it. I guess I can't play both Kodachis this way either, but yeah, I mean, we're just going to take every card out of his hand. Like, even if Bobby doesn't have an item here, I'm pretty sure he's just dead. Death by 1,000 cuts. Us being able to go second, even though Bobby was able to put a Teklo Pounder into play. Even though Bobby was able to put a Teklo Pounder into play on turn 0, I still think that, like it was like I just had too much pressure. Like, we just put too much pressure on him, and, like, Bobby wasn't able to, like, crawl back from it. This gets 2 cards out of Bobby's hand. We activate Phi. This comes in for 2 because of Shuko, and takes his last card. And then this crosses the finish line for us. All right. Bobby said he wants to play again, so yeah, I'm excited to run one back. I'm curious to see if this game goes any differently. My hand going second here is definitely not nearly as good as my first one was. I mean, I guess it could be pretty good. Like, it could be okay. Like, there's a lot of non-go again cards here in our hand, which means that I would have to be like using snaps or like just committing to like not actually getting value out of something. Loads pistol, plays Teclocore, and passes to us. So let's go brand. Kadachi. Activate 5 for 1. This comes in for 2. Bobby, I was like, Bobby probably just gives us 1 card here. Especially if he set up like a max V or something pretty early, then that'll put him in a lot better spot. We'll come in with the last Kadachi. And then this will be for 5. So not a bad turn. We gave ourselves an 8-point life lead here. We took 2 points off of Bobby's equipment life total, and we're arsenaling a pretty good card here. I mean, this hand is really good. I really don't think we're blocking it. Like, Bobby could get us with like a red backup protocol red, or like a, I don't know, like a boom grenade or something here. I was like, but I just don't think we're blocking. The worst thing that Bobby could have for us here would definitely be a pulse wave harpoon. Harpoon would like really knock the wind out of our sails. That's 2 harpoons gone. So please don't have the third one. This is a very good opening turn from Bobby. He's putting a lot of pressure on us. Yeah, I'm just going to go to 23, and then I assume I'm going to go to 21. I'm going to be down 12 points, and Bobby's going to arsenal a card here. So, very good turn from Bobby, but we have multiple on-hit effects here, so we get to go Brand. Kadachi. Brand for 3. On-hit, draw a card. Okay, Bobby gives us maximum velocity here. And now we get to throw this. We've now had 4 Draconic Chain Links, so we get to come in for 1. Now we get to use the Flame Call Awakening to come in for 3 on-hit Mask, which requires another card from Bobby. He's not actually able to give us a piece of equipment here to stop this. And then Phoenix Flame for 1. And then let's throw Snatch. I'm not going to use Snaps here. If Bobby lets us hit, I'm still not going to use Snaps. There's no reason to. That was a very good hand and gave us all the tempo that we needed. Bobby's just going to play the value game here, where he blocks out and then just throws pistol at us for 2. We dealt 5 and he dealt 2 to us, so that was definitely a beneficial turn cycle for us. We're going to go Kadachi into Ronin Renegade here. We'll see where Bobby decides to block. So he's going to wait and block on the 3rd Chain Link. We did put Ancestral Empowerments in, so like Bobby could get punished pretty hard if we ever had a hand lineup that way. We have yet to have a hand lineup that way, which is kind of disappointing. And then we're going to activate this. Come in for 1. No way to trigger the Shuko this turn. And then I'm going to throw another 4 here at Bobby. And this is on hit, draw 2 cards. This is definitely use Snapdragon Scalers if Bobby decides not to block here. Seeing how Bobby's been racing us, we know that he's not going to have any defense reactions. Or if he did, I would kind of be blown away. I mean, it's unfortunate both of these are non-go again cards. Bobby said he forgot that was mask and snatch there. So I'm asking if he wants to undo. We'd have to undo the whole turn here, but... Okay, fair enough. I'm just going to throw the Soul Beat Strike. I mean, I was like, this is 3 on hit. This gets go again, and then another snatch. This is 2 snatches in the same turn, and all 3 snatches within 2 turns, like, which is absolutely insane. This is high roll central right now. Like, Bobby's decision just like gave us total tempo here. And then we get to Arsenal a Mounting Anger, and now we have an Art of War turn. So we're just going to use our equipment here. Probably looking to use Flame Scale and Shuko this turn if I need to. Might give Mask. I mean, Bobby's at 10, so like we could get Mask here, but it's actually probably better just to get Furnace and Mask. There's a potential, probably wrong, but I've seen one card offer Max V too many times to not finally do it. Okay, so Bobby's going to just go for the Max V turn here. I mean, knowing that he said that, if he's able to put like a Hadron Collider into play here, would be an extra 4 points. So I think this is worth blocking. Now I'm trying to play Bobby didn't just say that to me. I'm trying to make decisions as I would in a live scenario. If it's his last one's a T-Bone, that's going to suck. Okay, so we take 2 here, go to 17. And then we take 12 and go to 5. Bobby said it was probably incorrect to take all the damage that he did to throw it, but he just wanted to throw it because he'd been so close a couple of turns in a row. I'm hoping that we can just get in there. Okay, this is so good. It's actually crazy how good this is. So let's go 2. Bobby gives Heart, which like is a good block for him, but it also lines up to where now Bobby can't give this conveniently. Bobby is forced to give us the extra point here off of the Mounting Anger. The Mounting Anger. I just like had a stroke trying to say those words out loud. I have no idea what happened there. Oh, every now and again my brain does that. I'm just like blah, 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 blah. I turn into God, I feel like Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty when he's making fun of when he's making Steve Carell say all the funny things on the news, and Jim Carrey's just sitting over there going blah, 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 like in the background. It's exactly how I feel when I make a tongue twister, except I don't look nearly as cool as Jim Carrey does. So Bobby gives us 2 cards here. So we have, I can use the Kodachi here. This is for 5. This is for 3 to put Bobby to 6. And then this for 6 is actually just lethal. So Bobby actually blocked 1 card early there. He blocked 6 on a 5. And if he had blocked 3 there, taken 2, and then blocked the Phoenix Flame for 3, he would have actually lived at 1. Now, that's probably irrelevant. Bobby has no cards in hand. Bobby has no cards in hand, and like I'm just like Kodachis are just gonna win the game. Five turns and I had a 14.4 AVPT, which is not bad. So we took 19 damage, dealt 8, took 2, dealt 5, and then we had our big turn here at the end where we dealt 17, and then we had the 10-0 swing, which is where we put all of our super relevant on-hit fix on the chain. Yes, so Bobby was talking about how he feels like it's so hard to like keep up when I get to go second. And like I think he's right. Like it's very difficult for like a lot of decks to keep up when Fi gets to go second. One of the few decks that's actually capable of doing that is Lexi. I'm going first. I don't like that. I mean, against Viserai, I don't like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really have like a setup plan for Viserai. Like Ancestral Empowerment seems fine. I think I'd rather have Sink Below in case they're on like the whole Mavrian Skies like style plan. We can block effectively with Sink Belows. Yeah, I think we're just gonna bring in those 3 cards, and I don't really think we want Arcane Barrier. I don't think like I think you're just forced to race. They're playing Reaping Blade, and they're on Royal Viserai. Interesting. They're blocking with Ether Ironweave on turn 1. This already feels like a spicy deck here. Not really sure what our opponent's up to. And then we'll come in for 2 with the Lava Vein Loyalty here. I mean, I imagine they'll give us a card for... Okay, they're just going to go to 37. They must really like their opening hand. All right, this hand looks to be very solid. We'll definitely be pitching the Brand to banish the Rising Resentment. Trying to find a red to really get value off of our Flame Call Awakening. Art of War Flame Call Awakening is just so good. There's so much value. They make 2 Rune Chants, come in for 4 with Go Again. I go to 36. I mean, I think our turn is like good enough. We just have to like try and race them here. That's a pretty good turn. And then are they going to come in with, ooh, Amplify the Arc Knight. Okay, cool. So that was a pretty good turn for them. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just go to 21 here. Like, and then they're going to lose their 2 Rune Chants because of Revel and its text. We're going to buff and banish, and I guess we're going to banish the Salta Wound. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to keep the Salta Wound just because, like, Salta Wound seems really good here, actually. Let's see here. So we're going to use both of our resources for these, so we're not going to spend any for Kodachis. So I guess we're just going to lead on Brand. I love cheap thrills. Let's go Flame Call Awakening for 4. Let's go get a Phoenix Flame. This is either going to be they're going to give us a lot of cards this turn, like defensively, or they're going to let us draw some cards this turn. Okay. So let's go 2. Let's activate Phi, come in with Phoenix Flame for 3. I'm curious to know if they block here again as well to try and stop Mask. Let's come in with Mounting Anger for 5. On hit Mask, on hit. Salta Wound gets a little buff here. Salta Wound's looking pretty buff this turn. Salta Wound's been hitting the old gym. hopefully. Okay, so they gave us Spellbound Creepers, which I think is a win. And then this is what, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're now down 1 point. This is an awkward hand. Spreading Flames, Blaze Headlong, activate Fi, get a Phoenix Flame, come in for 2. So that's 3, 7, 9 potential mass trigger. Or my hand is, I guess that doesn't have go again, so I can't do that. So this is like our only play, really. Unless we're going to play the Art of War and try to make something happen. But I think I'm more interested in arsenaling the Art of War and trying to set up for like a more explosive 5-card Art of War hand like we just did. Because if we have another hand like we just did, where we strip our opponent's entire hand, like I don't see how we could lose this game. Now, like, crazier things have happened. We could lose. It is something that could happen, but I don't think that's... Get a Phoenix Flame, come in for 2. No threat of mask here, so if our opponent blocks, it's simply to play around the fact that they're thinking that our last card is going to trigger mask. We get an extra card out of their hand and get to set up our Art of War, which is pretty solid. Now, this is not an Art of War hand. Yeah, this is not an Art of War hand at all here. Pitching Vexing Malice to come in with Spellblade Strike, so this is just 2. So... I mean, I could try to make something out of this hand. My hand is block 2, 5, go again, putting this on the bottom into Snatch. Or my hand is take 2, go to 19. And then I'm pitching Flamecall Awakening to play Art of War. Or no, I'm pitching Lava Burst, playing Flamecall Awakening, or playing Art of War, banishing Flamecall Awakening, and drawing, and then +1. I mean, I guess we can try to make that happen. Like, that doesn't seem crazy to me. I could sit and wait for a more consistent Art of War turn, but I think we're just gonna try and put pressure on here. Hopefully we draw something that's not terrible. So 4, 6, Snatch. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. This is a 15-point turn. 5-card 15-point turn is exactly on rate, which is not great. But we have a chance. We have a chance to draw 1/2 cards depending on how our opponent blocks. They no longer have equipment block, so I mean, if I really wanted to get crazy, I could go 5 draw card, or I could go 6 draw card. I think we're just gonna go again and keep the snaps around. Like, we're gonna be up 7 points and we're coming in for 5 on hit draw card, making our opponent, like, really... I mean, I could use snaps and try and go for, like, an extra play here. I have 1 Draconic card, so if I draw blue, it's Kodachi into Phoenix Flame. If I draw 1-cost red card, I'm in pretty bad shape. I brought in Sink Belows. Let's just Arsenal and save this. All right. Well, we would have been rewarded for doing that, but I mean, I don't like hate my decision here. We're up 12 points with a 5-card hand. We're just gonna use Sink Below and put Stab Wound on the bottom here and just try to play effectively. Or I'm gonna go Kadachi. So I think it's actually better to just take 4 here and arsenal my Sink Below. I can just go to 15 and just arsenal my Sink Below. And then what I can do is go Kadachi, Ronin Renegade, Soaring Strike, activate Fi, come in for 1, and then Stab Wound for 3 on hit, lose 2 life. Arsenal my Sink Below. That's not a bad turn. I think the on-hit effect of Stab Wound here actually being pretty relevant is kind of cool. If they take both the Kadachis, I will throw the Soaring Strike first, because it's a breakpoint card that triggers Mask. And they would have just given me 1 card on the Ronin Renegade had I done it the opposite way, so... Uh-oh. I definitely... Okay, so I forgot that Soaring Strike costs 1. So that's why Brand was important there. So you just completely saw me have like a brain fart here. Thankfully, I'm up enough to where it doesn't matter, but that was like definitely a mistake. I could have... I mean, I guess like this is still going to be for... This is going to be for 2 on hit, they lose a life, or they lose... Yeah, this is for 2 on hit, they lose 2 life. So more than likely they have at least a 2 block in their hand. I don't know what cards Viserai plays that don't block, but... And then I get to arsenal my Sink Below. Okay, so they give me the Sonata. I mean, I think that's better than them going to 1. We'll arsenal this. I mean, ho-ho! Okay. We'll cash in action from the arsenal. Interesting. Kadachi, Ronin, Phoenix Flame, Lava Burst. They pitched a blue and revealed Read the Runes, Swarming Gloomveil, Amplify the Arknight, and Knife Blade. And they took Swarming Gloomveil. I think that was a pretty smart play on their part. They activate Quillhand. Come in for 4. I'm going to block with Furnace and Mask here because my opponent's at 5. We're never going to trigger Mask again. Like, I don't even think our opponent will give us an opportunity to trigger Mask. I guess I should have just used Sink Below there. That I completely forgot that Sink Below was there, so that was just a mistake on my part. So now we're going to use our Sink Below ineffectively here, just to cover this up. That was definitely just a mistake on my part. Man, like, thank God I'm so far ahead this game, because I'm definitely not playing Fi to its highest extent this game, which is funny, because I feel like I've been, like, really talking about the lines and, like, making, like, probably, like, some of, like, I think I've been, like, really making sure we were taking the best lines over the course of the evening. And in the last game, I'm just kind of starting to throw here a little bit. And then we have no Mask, but this is on hit, you're dead. So, or I guess not on hit, you're dead, but this is lethal. We're threatening lethal here, so... Thanks for the compliment, Nathaniel. I appreciate it, man. Daniel Redkowski's probably sitting somewhere extremely offended. Oh, that's hilarious. That's great. Oh, man. I think I finished watching that movie, yeah. Sorry, Walking Tall popped up as like one of the free on YouTube right now with ads, and I think I watched that the other day, actually. I really like that movie. The remake with The Rock, not the original one, by the way, for what it's worth. I've never seen the original one. Before anybody's like, gasp. Our opponent goes to 2 right here, which is what I imagine they'll do. And then we come in for 6. If we're lucky enough for them to have 2/2 blocks, the game's over. If my opponent has a 3-block and a 2-block, they go to 1, or if they have 2 3-blocks, they stay at 2. Okay, so they stay at 2 here, and we're hoping for hands that just continue to just like put enough pressure on them to like keep trying to end the game here. Do we have both Phoenix Flames over here? We do have both Phoenix Flames over here. So we get to go Kadachi. Our opponent goes to 1. Brand for 1. They give us a card. Kadachi, which is Draconic. They give us a card. This comes in for 2 because of Shuko. They give us a card. We activate Phi, and we come in for 7 and end the game on the spot. And our opponent goes to -3 there. 15.67 over 7 turns. Okay. 15.67 is pretty good. It's starting to like look a little bit better there. That's more of like what we're looking for. All right. Well, guys, I think overall, I think the deck list is in a really good place right now. One of the conversations that we had throughout the course of the stream was how would Double Strike fill into the deck versus maybe another card that I'm playing. I'm not really sure what I would cut. That's something that I could consider. I own Double Strikes. I could make that change. And I don't hate Double Strike. It's just how good is it really? So I don't know. It's something that we talked about early on in the stream. It's something that I'll probably consider. I'm not super interested in making a lot of changes before ProQuest that start this weekend. I'm playing in a CC1 on Sunday, so I'm not super interested in changing my list a ton. But I would be willing to test something if anybody had like a really cool idea or something, like maybe a card that like you could cut Double Strike from. If you end up watching this later and like, you know, you're looking at my deck list and you think I should cut a certain card from the 57 card main deck and try Double Strike, let me know. I'd be happy to try that and kind of see how that goes down. Adya asks, what do you think about the mirror match? What are important things to look out for other than winning the die roll? So winning the die roll is obviously very important. The mirror match is interesting in my opinion because it depends on if you're playing Kadachi mirror match or if you're playing into Emberblade mirror match. If you're playing into Emberblade mirror match, it's easier to block their mask effects, and if they're playing Emberblade, they're probably on Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. Which is tough because if your opponent goes second with Mask of the Pouncing Lynx and Emberblade, then there's normally one turn where you want to keep your hand, and even if their turn's not that great, they're just going to pop their Mask of the Pouncing Lynx and just kind of go all in on one turn. So it's tough because you fall, like, Mask of the Pouncing Lynx is a card that gives you, like, it uses the catch-up mechanic really well, which is when you fall behind, you, like, can crawl back into a game with it. Or it gives you the ability to like propel yourself forward, which does a couple of things for you. One, it makes you feel more comfortable about where the game state's at because you're winning life total wise. And the second thing it does is it allows you to play the value-oriented blocking game over the course of the game, which if you're playing the Emberblade deck, you can play more blue 3 blocks. You can play like just more 3 blocks in general, and you can play that more of that like slower, like blocking, play E-strikes, play Blaze Headlongs, like, you know, like style of game over the course of the game and try to walk the life totals down. So if that's what you're looking to do with Emberblade and Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, then that's not a bad strategy. I personally run Mask of Momentum in the mirror, and I bring in, excuse me, When I play the mirror, I bring in Breaking Points, Ancestral Empowerments, and Sink Belows, and then I cut 1 Phoenix Flame and all 3 Flame Call Awakenings. I'm looking to play that Lexi style of game plan where I want to use my Disruption to try and help push mass triggers, and I also want to help push disruption effects like Breaking Point if I'm able to like blow up your arsenal or anything like that. So Breaking Point in those matchups is a 1-for-5 that also has additional text. And Sink Below, just being a very value-oriented blocking card, is like one of our best cards in the aggro mirrors, in my opinion, because it lets you filter cards from your hand, which makes your hand better potentially, and it also gives you blocking ability that you wouldn't normally have. So I think that if you're playing Mask of Momentum and you're playing Kodachis into the mirror, I really think it's about understanding what your opponent's up to. Like, if you're just playing the straight mirror, then honestly, like, I hate to sound like this, but it's probably just 2 draws better. Like, you can probably skill gap your opponent if they're a newer player, but if you're both, like, high caliber players playing the same list, it's probably just 2 draws better. Like, and it's the unfortunate part about card games, I think, sometimes, but that's just kind of what it boils down to, in my opinion. Well-timed Sync Belows, well-timed Ancestral Empowerments, those will definitely set aside, like, who's going to win in those games. So, great question, Adja. That was a great question. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate everybody being there. I feel like the gameplay was a lot better tonight than it was last night. I don't know if that was me trying to adapt to Bravo or what it was, but my head was definitely not in the right place last night, and I was just making a lot of mistakes. So glad to see that I could pick it up and play a little bit better playing Fi tonight. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow streaming. Even if I am back tomorrow streaming, it'll definitely be Fortnite. Tomorrow night's mine and Carly's night where we hang out, and sometimes Carly's just like, Fortnite, and so we come home and play Fortnite. But I will be back on Thursday playing more Fi, so don't miss it if you want to see some more Fi action. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see y'all then. Have a good week, guys.